Hello. I'm sitting here in my car and I'm waiting for my mother to get out of her place of work because somebody is probably tying up her time with a meeting. And I tried to go to the gym, but I didn't have my card. There's a gym on premises, so I'm chilling here. And it is a Tuesday, and I am back from work. So, I love this lighting. I feel like I look like a black and white cookie. Ooh, triggered. Somebody's gonna get triggered, right? So, today's video is about imposter syndrome. I kind of feel like if you say you have imposter syndrome or think you have it, I don't know, I feel like inherently I feel like if you really had it, you wouldn't know you had it. I feel like it's almost like a Dunning-Kruger type thing. You know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, when stupid people don't know they're stupid and smart people don't know they're smart. So I kind of get the feeling that somebody who really had talent and was accomplished and successful and whatever they were putting into the world had value, I feel like they wouldn't... Words aren't coming to me right now. I almost feel like if you're good, you don't know you're good. It's weird, because you can't really judge your own goodness. Sorry, I know thesaurus. Kind of needed thesaurus right now. But no, that's what I mean. I feel like I really wish I was one of those people who's delusional enough to think that, like, your opinion is the only one that matters because you're the one who created it and you know the value of it. It's like, well, if you're putting it out there for an audience, their opinion kind of matters too. Like, they're the ones you're making it for. They kind of have to have an opinion. You kind of have to take that into account before you decide not to continue. And if you are the only person who thinks that what you put out there is worth it, chances are you probably suck. So imposter syndrome, I guess, is defined as someone who is accomplished and talented, and there's the image of themselves that other people have of them as an artist or as whatever they happen to be does not match what they feel inside. They feel, they could have, I guess, a shelf full of Oscars, and they could have made this many successful movies or written this many successful books, and they would still feel like a loser underneath it all. And that is something that is not uncommon. I know that artistically, I know that I have made some strides. You know, I have a film on Amazon. I have another film that I'm trying to figure out what to do with right now. I'm writing a TV series. I've had some publications for fiction and poetry, and then people come up to me and they're like, oh, wow, that is so great, and that is so amazing, and like, I could have never done that, and most people never do that. It's like, well, and I don't want to make them feel like that doesn't count. I mean, I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all the love, but at the same time, I feel like, well, but I don't want to, that's not the bar that I want to set for myself. Like, I don't want to be judged by most people. And I know how horrible that sounds. I actually wrote a short story that it got published not too long ago in the Armenian Weekly. That check them out if you can. It's a great magazine, the Armenian Weekly. And the story I wrote kind of deals with this subject a little bit too. This feeling of being proud of oneself and living in a society that kind of puts pressure on people to achieve. I feel like I'm not supposed to be most people or most 23-year-olds. I'm not saying that I think I'm inherently better than that, but I just feel like it would be... I feel like there's a little thing inside me saying, like, no, you are not supposed to just be average. Like, you have to be above and beyond. You know, and it's weird because I have these things, and I know what I've done. I know there are other people living their own best lives and forging their own paths in this crazy little thing called life. Crazy little thing called life. It's like, it's funny. It's like I can get a short story published, or I can get a film out there, and I'll feel really happy, and then I'll hear about somebody I know getting into Cannes Film Festival, or winning some kind of fiction or poetry prize, and that's enough to ruin my day. And I don't know why. And it's just, I don't really know how to explain it. It's like and I think social media plays a huge role in it, because it's like when you go online and you see these things, and it makes you feel bad about yourself. But also when you I think what's slightly worse than that is when you put something of your own out there and you see that it gets very little social media engagement, it gets very few likes, or it gets none at all. And meanwhile, the picture of like your old middle school classmate who used to pick on you is literally posting pictures of herself half naked and chugging a beer, and that gets 50 likes. I mean, you know, it kind of might be just a teeny weeny bit hard on your self-esteem there. But yeah, I think it's funny because social media, it's a wonderful tool, and I don't know where I would be career-wise without all the marketing opportunities that I've gotten from it. But at the same time, it's just, wow, it's like kryptonite to your sense of self. And that's another issue I'm going to get into. And oh, hello, Finger. Ooh. You see, I don't take videos from my phone very often. I'm still kind of getting used to. All right, we're going to hold it. Okay, I just won't hold it at all. My right hand's getting tired, though. Okay. But, sorry, you know, my nose is, like, perpetually congested year round, too. I know, I'm, like, sniffing like Donald Trump. We're going to build a wall and keep all the artists out. And create jobs, but artists can't get any. But there's another thing, sense of self. You know what's scary to me? The fact that I've realized that there really is no such thing as having your sense of self. Just because the nature of opinions and the opinions that other people have about you and that you have about yourself, there's no way to prove them wrong or right. Like, I can have somebody think I'm the greatest person on earth, and I can have somebody think that I'm a hack artist and a complete jerk and terrible to be around, and you know what? They'd both be right, because there's no way to say you're wrong for feeling what you feel or thinking what you think. And the fact that maybe if I made a bad impression on somebody, either with who I am, or maybe they didn't like my film or my writing, and that's the only thing they've seen of me, that's the only impression they're going to have of me, and there's no way to change their minds, and they're going to have to leave and go about the rest of their lives, if they even remember what I said or did, and they'd be like, oh yeah, that girl, she's just she's so obnoxious, and she's so stupid, and there's no way to change their minds. The fact that we really don't know who we are, because what we consider ourselves exists in other people. We get our identities from other people, right? I know that I'm a mother. Whoa, what? I am not a mother. No, not yet. I don't plan on being one for another, 4 or 5 years or so. No. Woo, all right. I sometimes feel like one, though, because I work in an after-school program. But what I meant to say is I know that I'm a daughter because I have a mother, and she tells me that I am her daughter, right? I know that I'm a sister because I have a brother. I know that I am a filmmaker because people refer to me as that because I make films. But you know, somebody could have gone my whole life just easily telling me that I am a banana, you know, and I would believe that because I wouldn't know. You know, for my formative years, if that's what someone told me my whole life, I'm going to think that's what I am, you know? I feel like, you know what I feel like I am right now? I am 23 years old. And I feel like, you ever watch those infomercials? PBS sometimes runs them when they're hurting for money. It's usually for those that's what I call music collections, or like sounds from the 60s, and it's music from maybe 50 years ago. And you know, they play a bit of the songs, and they're like, call now and you'll get this CD and you'll get this CD. And well, they're usually hosted by some musician from that era, and it's not someone really, really famous. Like, you'll never see McCartney on one of those. You'll never see Mick Jagger on one of those. It's always some guy who had like maybe one hit, and he always comes out, right? And he's always like gyrating his hips. He's like, the summer of love, 1969. What a great time to be alive. Was it 1969 or 1967? Summer of love. What? It was a decade of love. They were all like animals. Sorry, I usually use both your hands to make a sexual gesture, but I'm holding my camera with the other one. Those commercials are never hosted by musicians at a good point in their career. If you see a musician hosting one of those infomercials like Time Life, That's What I Call Music, you know that guy is he's probably hurting for cash. And no disrespect. Again, I mean, at least that guy, at least he had a hit. You know, at least he managed to capture the entire country, even if it was captivate. That's the word I meant to use. Captivate the entire country, even if it was only for a week or so. At least he made his mark, you know. So I'm not trashing him or anything, but that's the way I feel right now. I feel like washed up without being washed up, if it makes sense. And then you hear 8 Miles High start playing out of nowhere. Eight miles high. I can't ever sing that intro. It's like the Seinfeld theme. Like, it's impossible to sing along with. I don't know. But that's how I feel right now. I feel like someone who's at a low point in their career, kind of like those musicians I was talking about. But the thing is, in order to be in that position, you have to have had a career. And I feel like if I haven't had one yet, how can I feel irrelevant? I feel like in order to feel irrelevant, you have to have once been relevant. And if it's like, you call someone a has-been. It's like, well, being a has-been is better than being a never was. And right now I feel like a never was. And it's not really something I can shake. It's a lot to deal with. When, like, people I know who, I mean, my parents do get stopped by people saying, oh my God, like, we read your daughter's story in this magazine, and we heard about her film, and we think she's so great and so talented, and it's nice to hear it from them. These are usually people like my parents' age or so, but it's the people my age, like the ones who knew me in middle school and stuff and hated me. I kind of worry that they're, like, probably looking at my Insta stories and my Facebook posts and stuff like that and being like, oh my God, like, who does she think she is? Like, she's not an artist. She's just obnoxious. She's just stupid. And I know it's probably in my head, but it's still, I don't know where it comes from. And I sometimes just feel I want to take myself seriously, but then I don't feel like I'm good enough to take myself seriously. I'm sure many of you guys, if you're in the same boat, might feel the same way. And again, I'm not here to tell you whether you're justified in feeling that way or not, because you know as well as I do that it doesn't really, as nice as encouragement is, it doesn't always take those doubts away. And also, again, you can't really judge yourself as well as you think you can. And other people's opinions, contrary to what you've been told by well-meaning adults all your life, they are not irrelevant, and they do matter. And I don't really know how to end this video other than that. I don't feel like there's a point to it. I just felt like bringing something to the surface, and hopefully maybe you guys can finish this discussion for me. I'm not quite sure. This has been another edition of the Sharisse Zeroonian Show, and I'm about to go home. So my mother's probably going to be like, why are you in your car just talking to the phone? You look like a crazy person. I am a crazy person. You'll find that out more. Catch you later.